It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. We don't lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. We don't lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. We don't lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chants, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Reetz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chants, cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name.
It's finished. Good morning, everyone. What's good about the morning? If you can still call it a good morning. But anyway, just grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever rocks your world. Yeah, you need it to survive this conversation because it's going to be more of a therapy session. Quite a lot to unpack. Normally on the Blue Morning Show, we like to start the day with good vibes. We like to talk about the so-called project and convince ourselves that progress is, being made. And truthfully, progress is being made. And I'm not going to deny that. But times like this can be painful, heartbreaking, except if you don't truly support Chelsea Football Club. But here's the thing, waking up today, the reality hits very differently in the cold light of the day, honestly, because I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but never thought that we'd lose that game by 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 at Elland Road. Is that how you pronounce it? And I do not know about you, but I went to bed angry, was unnecessarily screaming at my boys who also, you can say, they weren't happy. They were, because they love Chelsea too. Well, we were all disappointed, and when you look at the table this morning, the gap is now 9 points. The title race already feels like it is slipping away. But here's the thing: I never at any time thought we were in it, because I do realize we have a very young squad, and inconsistency is a commonplace when your squad is that young. And the frustrating part is not just the loss; it is how we lost. It wasn't like we lost 2-1, or it is everything about it was painful. So let's wake up properly. Let's shake off the hangover, not from a night out, but from watching that horror show, if I may call it that. But anyway, I am your host, Kachila. The coffee is strong, but the truth is, this morning is going to be even stronger. And nonetheless, welcome and welcome to the Blue Morning Show. But the truth remains, it still hurts. Without wasting much of your time, I want to say hello to those of you in the chat already so we can get discussing. You can say some news items, not a lot. We'll go news hunting, and then we'll start talking about the game proper. Difficult one to discuss. I've gotten used to, you can say, being in a very bad mood, but still able to host a show. Tosin shouldn't play for the club. I think he still gets to play again, but eventually he'd leave. I'm not sure whether he'd leave in January. I don't know, but I think the club will see it, the manager will see it right now, and something happened. I'm not sure what happened, especially after his return from I think a few weeks. Is it just 2 weeks or a week on the sidelines? He got worse, unfortunately. And Francis Winter said, I am annoyed. People keep saying we are in a title race. I never thought we were. And I think we had a guest on the panel, not a guest, one of our, what the term we use, resident panelists, did say that he's certain, that we're in the title race. I think he did go to the measure of saying that we're actually going to win it. I said, look, can we win it? Yes, we can. But do I think we will? And I said, no. Why? Because, we're not quite there yet. I get it. You could argue that we are ahead of time. We're making great progress, but certainly we're not there. It's really that simple. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't, you say, don't want to see it that way, to just feel like, yeah, we're good enough, we're definitely going to win it. No, we've made immense progress, but we're not quite there yet. And I'm going to keep saying it. But I didn't want to bust his bubble on the day, on his bubbles, maybe. I told him, yeah, can we? Yes. But do I think we will? No. That's simple, really. Big up to you too, Namaya Fole, aka Kopama. Nice to see you. Yes, people, smash that like button. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're getting closer and closer to 30K subscribers. Hopefully, we get there as soon as possible. Why didn't he use Archimbong? I'm not sure. I'm not, I cannot answer that question seriously. Let's see. Tony 6626. Morning to you. Two, one step forward, two step backwards. I disagree. I think we're pained that we lost. Do I think that you could say it'd be correct to say, yeah, we took two steps backwards? I mean, it depends on how you want to see it. If you want to see it from the perspective of the team that we lost against, maybe. Um, but I think we're still good. I just as I think was it one of the Neville brothers said, we're still finishing the top four, but winning the league we just cannot this season, and I believe that's the case, and I've been saying that that yeah, not this season if we're gonna win the league. We would do well, better than we did last season, irrespective of whether we have less points that we had last season. At this point, at this stage of the season, it does. I think we'll finish the season better, in my opinion. But that's by the way. Thank you for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. And once again, in my opinion, I wouldn't say we took two steps backward. These things happen. You could call it a wake up call, or you could call it a bleep. It depends on how you want to see it. It depends on how strong your belief in the squad is. That defines, you can say, how you view that loss to Leeds United at Ellen Road. Maresca is the cause of our humiliation. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again to decide whether he was really the reason why we lost that game. There are a multitude of reasons. More importantly, you could say as a unit, we didn't play like we want to win it. From the start, we looked shaky. You could say disjointedness is a different issue altogether, but we looked like, yeah, we weren't there to win the game. Maybe the mindset that, yeah, it's Leeds United after all, they've lost 4 games in a row. We're definitely winning that one, which is a very dangerous mindset to go into a game like that, given the excuse me, the rivalry between the two clubs. Maybe the players need to be educated to know. You can say, I'm not sure how else to phrase it, but that was absolute humiliation, in my opinion. Tosin, you should calmly walk to Maresca and tell him, don't ever pick me again. And Maresca should be, what is he saying again? And he says that Maresca shouldn't be stubborn. He should accept the request. If that happens, I don't see any manager that you tell that will pick you again. Once you tell any manager that, that's it. They're done. But let's see. They're done with you. We are a goalkeeper and a striker short of being contenders. I wouldn't say not necessarily a striker, because if you understand how Maresca, you can say, likes to approach the game, you know that, yeah, number 9 isn't necessarily, you can say, you can say the most important part of the puzzle in terms of squad building. One that you could say that's designed for Enzo Maresca. He wants. I'm not sure how to explain this. He is more into a hybrid number 9. And do I think we have that now? I don't think we have one. Joao Pedro, not necessarily a number 9 at all, in my opinion. So it's complicated. It's not that straightforward. So if you're asking for a number 9 for Maresca, you have to be more specific. You know, Joao Pedro, Jesus Christ, he's been shocking. And we've heard that he's not fully fit. I'm not sure what's happening to him, but he's looked lost in a number of games, not just one. Yesterday's wasn't a one-off case. There again, there were other games where I think he actually did better than he did in some of the games in the past. Title race talk is a bit of emotional waffling for some in our fan base. As I have said many times, this team overall isn't ready yet to be consistent for 38 games. It will come good in a year or two. I think next season. Next season, and also I have to pay attention what we do. Again, how our players mature, what we do in terms of the makeup of our squad to decide whether um, whether I agree that we're definitely going to push for the title in the coming season. But I think it will be next season. Let's see what happens. He says I have Ken Murillo in January. Let's see what happens. Really, the lab hold up play hasn't been good. The lab, yeah, I think it'd be accurate to say he's currently in his preseason. Yeah. I'm not giving up on Delap. I'm not giving up on Joao Pedro. But I think both are good players. They just need time. But that's just my opinion. But irrespective of that, again, that's by the way, really, the performance overall yesterday was shocking. And you can't argue, chances are, even if we had Rich James on the pitch and every other player we had on the bench, chances are, yeah, we're not going to get the sort of performance we expected because we played two high octane games within the week before that one, and it's complicated. It's not that straightforward. I don't think the question should be why the manager rotated the team. The question should be whether he made too many changes or not. So it's complicated. It's not that straightforward, really. But that's by the way, Tibero. I'm going to come to you. Big up to you, and thank you so much for finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. It's still 4:53 a.m. CSC. Tibero, your thoughts? What happened overall? I will get to you can say address some more specific questions, but right now, in your opinion, what happened? Why do you think we performed so badly yesterday?
Big up, coach. Can you hear me?
To you too. Yeah, crystal clear.
Yeah. I think individual mistakes cost us this game again because the first goal, yes, is a set piece. A corner is a lovely goal, cool, no problem. The second goal and the third goal is due to our mistakes. Tosin passed to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo didn't know how to trap that ball. They take that ball, they scored. It's our mistake. Third goal, same thing. Tosin back pass to Robert Sanchez. I don't know what he was doing. And as much as people are saying that, oh, Enzo Maresca is making a lot of changes, we need to rotate in order to keep players fit because we didn't have a proper preseason. That's the reason why.
Our situation could worsen if he doesn't rotate.
Exactly. And
If I
also
hear
another thing,
someone say he made too many changes, then you know what? We can have a conversation. But if I hear someone questioning why the manager had to rotate in the first place, then maybe you don't understand the need for the you can say you don't understand football actually, then I don't need to discuss anything with you. You get the point. Some people you can say I don't know how they watch football. I think it's important that I find the answer to that question really. But go ahead with what you were saying to Bill.
yeah, that's the thing. And also, I think the reason why he played Tosin, Trevor Chalaba, and Badishile is because of, uh, if you check the stats, Leeds are the tallest team in the Premier League. So aerially, they are so dominant. That's why he played three center backs that are tall in order to help out to avoid mistakes. But unfortunately, we made mistakes. So I think this is the issue. Yes, maybe he made a lot of changes, but I disagree on that. We have to make changes in order to avoid injuries. For example, look at Arsenal yesterday. They lost Mosquera because of injuries. So now they have three center back shots. So it's football, it's Premier League, it's physical. And then remember, we played Barcelona and Arsenal, two physical matches. So we had to make some changes. So at the end of the day, it was not our night, but we can avoid those mistakes. I don't like it when we concede goals like that, especially from our own mistakes. Maybe it's a counter attack or it's a set piece. Cool, no problem. I can complain about it, but a set piece is a set piece. But not dishing our opponent's goals. The second goal and the third goal is avoidable. That's why Enzo Maresca said the third goal really killed the match. I don't know what was Tosin doing there, and we were
And
building up
I heard
momentum.
somebody, I did see somebody trying to blame Gusto. No, Tosin is experienced enough to know as a
Exactly,
defender, you should always pay attention to your surroundings. I think that's the more relatable language there, to know whether you have space enough to control the ball. He could have just cleared it.
exactly,
He
and
could
then,
have just
and
simplified things and then put it forward, and that's it. Then there'd be no such risk, the sort of risk he took in trying to keep it on the carpet and control it. He didn't look like he was experienced.
exactly, and then he did the opposite. He passed the goalkeeper. Come on, how can you pass the goalkeeper in that situation when we are under pressure? Because Leeds were pressing us. So overall, I think our players sometimes, I said this several times, right? Our centre back sometimes are letting us down. And since Wesley Fofana came, I think we look better. But without him, I think we look different. That's why I'm
And I
saying that
didn't want him to play yesterday. I didn't want Tosin to play,
yes,
but at the same time, I didn't want Fofana to play.
exactly.
Remember we did talk about that. We were
Yes,
suggesting, I think, what's his name, Achempong, because Fofana he played 2 games in a row. And the second one we played with a man down for nearly 50 minutes for 50 minutes plus, right?
exactly. That's why
Yeah, if
we
he
said it
gets
for.
injured, our situation gets worse. Go ahead, what you were saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. For me personally, I think Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwell are our best centre backs, and then we can say Trevor Chalaba is our third best centre backs at the moment. The other ones are on and off. We don't know what they're going to give us. And as much as we want Josh to start, I think he's still young. He's still not experienced enough to play these kind of games.
But in
So
honest, I'd
Enzo Mar-
rather have Josh on the pitch, make those mistakes, and learn from them than Tosin that's getting to will soon be 28 if it's not 28 already. Be making primary school level mistakes. That's unacceptable. Listen, if it was a one-off thing, I wouldn't call him out. But
yeah.
yeah, it has happened one too many times of late. He's not that you can say maybe he's reached his peak and yeah, and that's it. Because he started life as a Chelsea player, in my opinion, was excellent. Last ditch tackles, and good, you could say he was the one that helped us deal with persistent pressure from oppositions who were able to pressure us persistently during Maresca's first season. But all of a sudden, I'm not sure what happened to him really. But apologies, go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, for me, as I said it in the summer that we need another centre back, but again, the sporting director said we are fine, and clearly we don't look fine. Ever since Fofana was not here, we were horrible. He came in, and then everything was neutralized. We were much better in the centre back, and in few games when he's out, we are doing mistakes. So overall, I think in January transfer window, we rather recall Asamina if they are ready or Sa or buy a centre back because no way we're going to keep clean sheet with these centre backs. No way, boo. No way. Primary school errors every game. No, no, no. It's killing our game. Sometimes it's so hard to watch our team doing like this. So I'm
I
tired
mean,
of this,
I
man.
mean,
We
Sassi
need
may not be the best on the ball. Yeah, but honestly, you can't bully him off the ball. Just how Tosin is usually bullied off the ball easily, But anyway, let me catch up with what we have in the chat, and I'll come back to the panel. Let's hear Bobby's opinion. What he again on the game overall. How can Maresca tell, okay, the world that he's protecting the best players? Maresca is the first coach in the history of Chelsea to protect. I mean, the situation is different. We have a situation where, and here's the thing, there are factors you have to bear in mind. We don't have too many good centre backs. So that's a good reason to actually try to protect the ones you have. Do I think maybe Tosin shouldn't have started? I'd say yes. But I think he needs to rotate the team. The question should be: did he rotate too many? You could say, did he make too many changes? Then we can have a conversation. But rotation is definitely needed. Otherwise, we'd be in a much worse situation right now. Honestly, I think rotation should be the list of the questions we should be asking right now. The question is why didn't certain if the question is why didn't certain players start over certain players, even with the rotation, with us again with the need to rotate, then yeah, I'd listen to you. I don't like to have baseless conversations. Look, rotation is necessary, and I don't see any team in the Premier League that doesn't rotate. Mention one. The question is how many changes do they make per game? Big up to you to Rich Money Makers. I blame the S's and Ibali. I don't trust the S's when they might sell Pedro Neto, and we need to keep them. Sell all the players and don't care about the kid coming from Portugal. I don't think we're selling Pedro Neto. And we're not selling him. You heard that during the summer there were clubs interested in signing him, and we said, "Nah, we're not selling him." He's a consummate professional. We've heard one of the leaders we have, one of the most experienced players. They're not looking to sell him. If you haven't heard, we did have that conversation here. Um, let's see. I repeat, keep Pedro Neto at all costs. He's not going anywhere, so do not worry. You, I don't know. I want you, coach, that if Tosin start, and you don't need to remind me. I didn't want him to start either. We didn't talk. We did discuss that at length. That the way Leeds play, Tosin shouldn't start that game. And actually, they won. Actually, they didn't play at a high level that like they usually play. I think they did slow down a bit on papers, most likely, because probably they didn't want to play in a manner that would keep the ball. And then by the time the halftime whistle blows, the referee blows the halftime whistle, they'd be exhausted. So they you could say they had the plan and it worked for them. In our case, it'd be correct if I hear anybody say, yeah, we maybe underrated them. I'd listen to that person really. Why Chelsea coach play with this defense, even though he knew all the time? Yeah, it didn't work really. Sorry, it was difficult to understand again. Putting together what you were trying to say there. That 18-year-old kid could have been sent off yesterday. We are acting like Blue Arsenal. Here's the thing. Now you understand the reason why Maresca is protecting him. Look at the way he behaved on the pitch. Imagine had Maresca not managed, you could say it's not, if Maresca isn't managing his starting life as a Chelsea player and let the pressure get to him and let him feel like he's carrying Chelsea, I think chances are he'd be struggling right now. Look at it. So people that have been calling start him every game, I think probably they're learning the hard way that he's still a kid and needs to be managed, just like Maresca is doing. I think had Cole Palmer been fully fit, I don't think he started him yesterday. Yeah. But let's see. A lot of teams want a Pedro Neto, and we need. Listen, do not bother you. Worry yourself. We're not selling him. Okay. Let's see what else here, Bobby. Let's hear your thoughts. What happened, in your opinion? And
Yeah,
big up
big
and
up,
thank you for
guys.
finding the time to
Yeah,
join the conversation.
Coach Zabogo. Look, the most frustrating thing about this passion of ours of discussing football in general and Chelsea in particular is you have to engage with a lot of things that you actually find frustratingly I don't want to be offensive, but you just find it frustrating. You know, anybody talking about, oh, why is Chelsea rotating and all that? One, they don't understand Chelsea. Two, they know nothing about the players. And three, they don't have Chelsea's interest at heart. Chelsea is a young team. For the second season running, the youngest team in the Premier League. there have been a litany of injuries to key players. Players like Reece James and Wesley Fofana, who make an enormous difference, cannot play back to back to back games within 2-3 days of each other. You're just inviting their injury back again. It's enough we don't have Romeo Lavia. It's enough we don't have Levi Colwell. We're
It's
missing those
Google.
guys. And Dario Sugo, another one, a kid that hasn't even kicked a ball for Chelsea in the Premier League, is off injured. Um, um, Badiashile, who showed us his quality, has just returned from injury. This is his first game back from injury. So I didn't expect him to be ripping up trees. Look, we have to manage, we have to rotate our team. What the problem is that there is an imbalance in the strength in depth of the team. We're doing silly things. He went and put Andre Santos as a sort of six stroke DM stroke destroyer in midfield. He's not that guy. I don't know why we always look at players, and because we fancy them, we start
What other
fantasizing
option in terms of that
them.
case? We're having a
he
conversation. What
is
other option?
he he is more of an Enzo Fernandez role. He
But
really
that's the
is.
problem. Who comes in?
Let me learn. Or he would have put him in central midfield with Josh Achipong. Our problem
Not a
was
bad suggestion. Yeah, not a bad.
there was no
Even he
solidity.
did say that Josh can play there. So you're correct. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bobby. Did we lose him? Yeah, he's not talking. It looks like we lost him. I've never noticed he's costing us too many points. And there are some numbers we're going to look at once Bobby is done speaking, but it looks like Bobby's connection isn't stable. Yeah, I did say that. The fans need to protect who? Okay, there you go, Bobby. You're back. You were disconnected.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You were disconnected. And also, I was saying, so you're correct because even Maresca himself did mention he's still having his connection isn't stable. The fans need to protest against who? Why are you always talking about every time we lose one game, you start talking about protest? You're not even discussing the problem. Leeds schooled our manager that no team is easy in the Premier League. I didn't think they schooled him. No, that wasn't that. I think there are other reasons, but I get it. You have every right to put it that way, can if you want to. But I think it was a bad day at the office. No player, as a team, we were awful. I get it. Tosin made mistakes. Didn't look like he was leading that back line. If you aim for the title or winning something credible, I think we will win one trophy this season, one or two actually. But I never thought, I never at any time believed we were again that we're ready to win the Premier League. And we had, I think, Bamfordinho said we're winning. I said, no, can we? Yes. Do I think we will? And I said, no. I don't want Sa, and we need a Premier League ready player. I have felt a sick last night. Here's the thing, try and control yourself. Losing one game doesn't get me to start thinking that, we haven't made progress. We have made immense progress. The losing against Leeds doesn't change my mind on that. If anything, a wake up call for Maresca, if you like, or maybe it could just be a bleep. I don't know, but we'll find out. But I think he should learn from it. Maybe minimize the changes per rotation. Certain players need to be constant, just like Enzo Fernandez. But here's the thing: Moses Caicedo wasn't available for the game. Had he been
Can you
available,
hear
he'd
me?
be on the pitch.
Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Coach?
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got whenever I'm on my phone, whenever I get a call, it just cuts me off. Yeah, Coach, you see, there's a multiplicity of the problem yesterday, right? Our lack of of sufficient squad depth. By that, I mean the quality gulf between players like Reece James and what we have to back them up with is pretty large. Now, you could say Gusto could do a good job for James if he's in the right back position, even midfield. If you notice, Gusto even plays in midfield these days. But the fact of the matter is that even Gusto needs protecting because of injury. He has to
Because he's
rotate
become one
his
of our most
squad.
important players too.
He's a very important player. All the key players that we have need protecting. The only one that we're playing a little bit, we're skating on ice with is Cucurella because he's been forced to play game in, game out, 2 days, 3 days, and so on. And I don't think it's healthy. We have to rotate. The problem with this is that in rotating, you have to utilize your players effectively. What Maresca did yesterday was rank stupidity, in my opinion.
He
If
asked
you're
for it.
going to if you're going to play somebody as slow and lethargic and as inefficient in defense as Tosin, either you play him with somebody solid in front of him like Josh, or you don't play him at all and you play Josh instead. I don't understand this idea of trying to play Tosin ahead of Josh Achimpong. I think that is a mistake on Maresca's part. Another thing is that he then thought he could use um, Andre Santos as a replacement for Moises Caicedo, which is absolutely crazy. Moises wasn't there. I think it was Tobago that mentioned the height issue, and rightly so. But you don't just leave your defense exposed because the height issue comes through into the defensive midfield. And if you must play the centre backs he played and use Chalobah as a right back, you have to have um, Achepong as the DM, which is a position we all know he plays very well. Part of the problem with Esteval yesterday, which, yes, I'm glad people saw it. So now we understand why we can't be throwing an 18-year-old to start every game just because he has one or two good games. This is the Premier League. It's new to him. All that aggressive play, he had a baptism against Leeds yesterday. And the fact that he was playing ahead of Chalobah, who is unable to support him like Gusto does, made his challenge on the right wing even more difficult. He was marked out yesterday, and he will learn. It's good. It's good he was substituted in the second half. The player choice was bad from Maresca yesterday. Joao Pedro, you're right. He is off form. I don't know what's happened to him. I do believe perhaps he's carrying a niggle or something because he was.
According to the manager he is, Enzo Fernandez is, I think plenty of our players are. So,
Well, there
which
you
even
go.
makes it that and that reason makes it even more important to rotate. And
Exactly.
I've said this a
So,
thousand times. Otherwise, we'd be in a much worse situation.
exactly. So all these people, even these pundits on TV, "Ooh, he made too many changes." They don't care about Chelsea. They want Chelsea players to be injured. They want them to be out long term because you can't play them game in, game out. And you say he made so many changes. Not really. Enzo Fernandez played. Chalobah played. Cucurella played. Who else did we have playing? At least as a starter, Esteval played because he started the game with
Yeah,
Arsenal.
and you
Um,
can't count Caicedo because yeah, he's not available. So definitely
yeah.
a replacement is needed.
So a lot of the players that played the past two games started against Leeds, and the rotation was really only in the centre back positions and a little bit on the right back positions, which was being played by a centre back who had played the first two games. So he's not over rotating. He's resting key players like Reece James and Wesley Fofana, who we all know have been out for a long time in the past. And if we lose them now, it will scupper our season completely. We're trying to have at least a season where we have the privilege of these guys being fit enough to service the team. And that if it means them playing only once a week, so be it. I'd rather have them just once a week than not at all. I think Maresca made some mistakes yesterday. I really do. I think his team selection is certainly
Tosin was again the most obvious mistake. When you were
Tosin was
you
the
were part
biggest
of the lineup
mistake.
building exercise, weren't you, Bobby?
Yeah, yeah, we've
And
all
we
said
talked
it.
about why
We
Tosin
didn't
should have
want
started
him.
that game.
I didn't want to see him on the pitch.
Yeah,
I think he's a liability in many ways, and all this leeching on to Cole Palmer and being in Cole Palmer's ear and all that. I'm sick of it. It's not a way to stay in the squad. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Don't leech on to the better players and think that's what's gonna
that's a,
save you at
that's
Chelsea.
another thing that Bobby's
You know,
talking about.
it,
All right, Bobby,
it's
there are some numbers we'll look at, but I have to catch up with some of the stuff we have in the chat here. Telling numbers. But just give me a second, a few seconds here. And we have Richard Moneymaker saying, "Tell Bobby I've been told Pedro Neto is on the untouchable list." I don't believe that. Listen, a few days ago, we did address a report that clearly states that something to the effect of plenty of clubs were interested in signing Pedro Neto, and we said no, he's not for sale. We're not going to
coach.
sell Neto.
Coach, this is an irrelevant conversation.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense, and I don't know where fans get these things from. What are we talking about? Neto is not for sale. Certainly not this season. Certainly not in January, and probably not in the summer. It makes no. In fact, I would bet you in the summer he's going nowhere.
No, he's
Chelsea look
not.
to strengthen, not weaken. All
He's
this
not. Yeah.
talk of Penda, of is it Quenda or Quendo, whatever his name is. He's another kid,
Yeah.
18
I
year
don't
old
see a
and all that.
situation where, as our players mature, we sell them. No,
You
that's not
know,
going to
he
happen at Chelsea. We keep our best players, and he's one of our best players.
Kenda is going to need rotation as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's ripping up trees playing in Portugal and all that, but coming to the Premier League, it's a whole different set of gravy. You've got to rotate these children, or you'll be in trouble. So I don't know where they hatch up these stories. And the thing about these stories is that they always look for the better Chelsea players to create anxiety in the fan base. This makes no sense. I don't even know why we're talking about this now. What is the relevance right now? This is it's a weird topic for people to be even thinking of when we're thinking of the things that went wrong in a game that really we should have won, and the imbalance in the squad selection by Enzo Maresca. Even this talk of, oh, we need a new goalkeeper, but BS. I don't blame anything on Robert Sanchez yesterday. Even fumbling that back pass, he wasn't expecting it. It was a stupid ball to
It
give the
was too
goalkeeper
close.
under the. Yeah, I mean, I just
And,
don't.
and here's the funny thing: that which I believe Tosin was expecting him to do was what Tosin himself should have done.
Well, exactly.
Don't try to
Oh,
control it because the man was close to you, but probably he wasn't aware of his, like you say, his situational awareness at the time was just practically zero. You didn't
well,
know
this
how
is
close
it.
that guy was.
Look at all the balls that even in that game that Robert Sanchez was plucking out of the air, and I don't even know why he's in the conversation either.
No, I
We
don't
have
blame
our
him for that,
goalkeeper now.
honestly.
I don't blame him at all for anything yesterday. It was the third goal was a stupid mistake by Tosin, showing the sort of player he actually is. The second
Well,
goal
the first goal,
was
I
that
think
we had
the
no
lap lost his
defensive mid.
man.
The first
Plus,
goal,
also, you
yeah,
could say
Delap
lack of
lost his
proper
man.
organization in the box because, yeah, Chaloba was actually positioned to do something also. I mean, you could say a
No,
lot of stuff
went
went
wrong
wrong.
with that.
Yeah.
That was all. And the second goal, there was no defensive midfield. And Enzo was running back trying to be all things to all men, but he wasn't capable of snuffing out the guy that took the shot. And if he's carrying an injury, well, that makes it even less surprising. So, there was a cocktail of things that went wrong yesterday, which shouldn't have. And honestly, I think it's part of the maturation process. We're an immature team, still trying to find its balance, still trying to find its footing. But whenever we do, we show what we're capable of. But, anybody expecting to play Esteval every week, play every 2, 3 games in a week, play Reece James the same thing, Fofana the same thing, it's insanity. It is absolutely
We
insane.
could
One
have
needs
three
to
of them
settle.
all out injured.
Exactly. Well, one needs to settle, which is Esteval. He needs nurturing, and the other two need protecting. Whether we like it or not, that is the reality of our squad. And what we should be talking about is what are the contingencies we have in place when these players are not there. And that was where Maresca failed
If
yesterday,
you if
because
you
his
remind me
his
later, Bobby, I
contingency
think we can
plan
talk
was.
about how you can say rotation. Even again, we get it. There's a need for rotation, but I think we can be better at it.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
what
we
I'm
can be
saying.
better at it.
His
I
his
think that's the only thing we
contingency
should be
planning,
talking about. But saying we don't need to rotate, they don't know how dangerous that is.
of course, it's very dangerous. As I've been trying to say, Maresca's contingency planning is faulty. Sometimes he acts like he doesn't know what he's doing. Just like that time we went down to 10 men and he did some really stupid things. His contingency. Okay, I
But
don't
he's proven
have.
he's learned from that one in terms of managing with, you can say,
Well,
playing with
he's pa-
a man down.
he's part of the evolution process as well, because he's a kid learning as well in the managerial
He
realm.
would tell
you
he'd
know
be the first to
he's
tell you that.
his thinking was so faulty yesterday. I just can't say it enough. Tosin should not be on the pitch. He is a bench player at best. Tosin is the kind of player that you bring on in the last 10 minutes to shore up a game. That's it. That's the
I
best we
wouldn't
can.
mind just start playing him in the midfield.
No, Tosin can't play in midfield.
He
He's too
can.
slow.
He can.
He's too
That's a
slow.
part of his game. Again, here's the thing:
Too
it's more
slow.
dangerous to play him in the defense. It'd be, you could say, safer to play him as one of the DMs. Actually, I think he
Why
would do
play
well.
him at all? He has to come off the bench,
Or don't
coach.
play him at all. But
You have
saying,
too
like, in
much
the
empathy.
absence of, you could say, what's his name, Moses. I think he can fulfill that role actually.
No, no,
But
no,
I don't
no.
want to see him on the on the
Uh,
pitch
uh,
again. In
uh,
all honesty,
Both in the centre back position and in defensive midfield, Achipong is leaps and bounds ahead of him. And like you, I don't want to see that mistake at all, but I will find that mistake more acceptable from an 18-year-old Josh Achipong than a
Mhm.
28-year-old Tosin Adarabioyo. I just don't see the value of that guy. And trying to force a square peg in a round hole by starting him, it's a no-no. You just can't do it. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't like it, then leave. Then we can start looking at another centre back. I don't see all the problems came from him. A returning from injury, Badiashile, he didn't have a great game, but he wasn't making stupid errors like that, expensive errors.
It's
Um,
something I want you to pay attention to. Badiashile, whenever he's on the pitch, especially if he's deployed on the right hand side, I think he takes a lot of risk. Even when he's on the left hand side, actually, he takes a lot. The way he passes the ball, you can say, what we call it in Nigeria is hospital pass. It doesn't, you can say, measure the distance between opposition player and the person he wants to pass the ball to accurately. Sometimes you have to put in a lot of effort to get to the ball he passed to you. There's always a risk of the opposition cutting off the pass. I'm not sure. I think I've paid attention to him severally, and I think he does that all the time, irrespective of, yeah. I know you can say he has good passing range from an offensive perspective, finding his teammates if you make good runs. But if you pressure him, he doesn't mind whether somebody is closing that is close by that his teammates that he wants to pass the ball to, close enough to actually intercept the pass. He still pass the ball. I think
Well,
that's a huge problem again in itself, in my opinion. But go ahead. I want to
it's a
catch up on what
valid
we have so that we can continue.
it's a valid observation. I can't say I particularly observed that, but that doesn't mean to say it's not true. I think you're right. I did think he did give away the ball one or two too many times, but I put that down to the fact that he's returning from injury again. That was what was in my mind. But if that's a consistent problem with him, then it is an issue.
I think eventually, if he stays fit, I think he's going to be sold. Under pressure, you'd see him make, you can say, those what I call hospital passes. But that's by the way. Let's see. I've read that, and this here says so. Looking at our squad after rotation, we are saying we don't have enough strength to beat Leeds. We do have. That wasn't the argument. The argument is the balance. When you rotate, do you have good enough quality to we still win games comfortably or still be as good as the previous team? Because yeah, we're talking about having two teams now. When one is playing, the other will mostly be rested or be on the bench. The manager will have the luxury of calling upon them if need be. But the point is, yeah, we're able to rotate, but the question is when the manager rotates, the T11 that comes in, are they good enough? Can they do an equally good job or something to that effect? That's a serious question to answer. Maybe it's a manager, he needs to, you can say, balance the rotation. Yeah, and not just, you can say, pick the strongest 11, wear them out, and then risk having only second 11. Even though I don't like using that term, but yeah, you'd have the players that are inferior to the players that played the last game, which means
To be
irrespective of what you do, you still have players that cannot measure the sort of performance the fans want to see.
to be
So
fair to
it's
Maresca,
yeah,
if he's
he needs to
rotating and
balance the rotation.
still
Yeah.
if he's rotating and still having players carrying knocks like Fernandez and Joao Pedro, it's a problem. Even Pedro Neto needed to be rotated because he can sometimes spring a long-term injury. He has a delicate squad, and it's a balance that he has to master, but it's not helped when he puts a fit young
I
lad,
think he's
excellent
prioritizing
player
games.
like Josh on the bench
Yeah.
in place and puts Tosin on. That doesn't help his cause
Yeah.
at
I
all.
think, Bobby, I think you could say he's prioritizing games in the sense that certain games, you see him. How do I explain this so you get my point? To get my point across effectively, he doesn't see every game in equal measure. Certain
No,
games
not every game is in equal measure at all.
yeah, they're not, but there's a risk of there because if you let's say we played Barcelona, even he did say something to that effect. We played Barcelona and Arsenal with certain players, and he'd say, yeah, definitely there's something to the effect of the quality of the score of the team on the pitch reducing when we play teams like Leeds United because the best players already played against Arsenal and Barcelona. So which means he's not selecting players, you could say, with balance, you could say rotational balance in mind. You get my point now. If you
I
tire out
get
your
your
best
point.
players, even if they get to play in the next game, they're not going to be efficient enough. Then
Yeah,
if you select the first, you can say the best of the bunch for a particular game, and you want to rotate, then the next game you'd have players of lesser quality on the pitch. It's
well,
you don't
he made a lot
even
of
need
mistakes.
mathematics to come to that conclusion.
His problem was that he he started trying to get that sort of utility performance from players that don't have utility capability. Andre Santos should have been put in central midfield. He should have been somebody there to break up play, make the play, and so on. He would have been good at that and support the DM. The DM yesterday should have been Josh Achipong. The centre backs should have been either Chalobah and Badiashile, or if you want to play Tosin and Badiashile, then Josh definitely has to be in front of them because he would protect them, which was something they didn't have. If you have you have a returning from injury Cole Palmer, who rightly so had to come on later in the game, and then you have somebody carrying a niggling injury in Joao Pedro, who when Palmer came on, instead of leaving Pedro on to be struggling, that was the time he could have brought on Mark Guehi, who, if you can recall the game when he came on, because he plays this hustling football, he started causing their centre backs some problems because their centre backs had been smoking a cigar all that time before he came on. So his use of the squad for all the deficiencies in the squad should be a lot better to get something out of the game. He messed it up yesterday again.
I think you need to balance it out, and you could argue it's not. I mean, in my opinion, it's not that complicated. Even if you leave certain players out because you want to use them in the next game, you can also have them on the bench and and still have the luxury of calling upon them if need be. They don't necessarily have to start, but it's important
Yeah,
to ensure that you have good enough quality for the other team, then you can
but
still have players from the teams from the team that's playing today on the bench for the next game and bring them on if need be. For me, my opinion, I don't think it's you can say complicated, except if there's something that he's seeing that I don't see. But even at that, he needs to balance it out. It doesn't have to be. You can say, what's the language I'm looking for? Too you don't have to just one doesn't have to be stronger than the other. He literally, there's something he said that, yeah, for me reflects the fact that, yeah, um he 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 feels like certain games are more important than the others. I'd rather him go with certain games being more difficult than the others. Maybe that's the way he see it, but then he present, you can say, his opinion or with the more relatable language, so that, yeah, it be clear to people that he's just saying that because that those games are more difficult, he just had to select our best players to play against them. I'm not sure how else to see it, but it's not balanced. So yeah, you
You
expect
can't
us to
do
yeah,
that in
but
the Premier League.
yeah. Sorry.
yeah, my biggest issue, right? I see Chelsea Ultra mention Joao Pedro and Delap, and I agree with him. How many times they've played together, or either one is playing, other one is not playing. They are not giving us enough performance for them to say, okay, now we have proper players. That's the issue we are having at the moment. And then the same issue is how we recruit players. Nicholas Jackson, we knew he was a raw striker, right? As much as I like him, we if we're selling him, we needed an upgrade. I don't hate Liam Delap. I don't think he's ready enough to start at a club like Chelsea. That's the issue with our recruitment. We should have signed a better striker that is an upgrade from Nicholas Jackson. That's the issue we're having at the moment. So if the players are not performing, so what should Enzo Maresca do? Even Mark, as much Mark Gay, he can bully players, but again, sometimes he doesn't score. That's the issue we're having at the moment with our recruitment staff, that we buy players for the sake of buying them. We are not buying upgrades. That's the issue at the moment. So even Joao Pedro, he gave us flavors in the Club World Cup. Few games in the Premier League, he was performing very well. After then, he vanished.
He's looked so
Man,
bad of late. Even his first touch, you could say, I'm not sure. I think there are goals that I expected him to, chances that I expected him to put away, but yeah, he had to take multiple touches and still maybe in the process of trying to control the ball, the goalkeeper comes and claims it. But that's, by the way, let me catch up with what we have in the chat. There are numbers that I'd like us to look at. They're telling. Tosin, I don't like reading such, but I'm just going to humor you at this point. If you gotta, I'm not sure how to say it. Certain languages I don't like reading because I don't speak like that. Tosin is awful. Joao Pedro, not awful is fine, but there's a language I want to get to. Joao Pedro and Delap are both useless. Yeah, I wouldn't under normal circumstance read that. Speak that way. They are like statuses or status on the pitch. They don't move. Maresca's team selection was awful. The game was awful. The game was unwatchable, in my opinion. From the
Oh,
first minute,
for
I
Joao
knew we were in
Pedro
trouble.
and Delap, one is just coming back from injury, one is carrying injury. So I
And you could
wouldn't.
argue this is still his preseason. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not concerned. We've made progress, and that loss, uh, I don't think will not get me to say, the manager should go or the SDS should go because we no. I'm paying attention to how things are going. We've not been that bad. If anything, Bobby, I think you did say something to that effect. This may well be again a wake up call for the manager, or because we have a very young squad, such thing is commonplace. Inconsistency is something that's very common with a very young squad. Eventually, they will learn to perform consistently and not take teams for granted, because chances are the reason why we didn't play well was just the main reason why we didn't play was just down to the fact that they didn't respect the opponent, because they had lost 4 games in a row before us, and the players they're aware of that and probably went into the game with the mindset that we've already won this one. And that's how I actually define Charity FC: not respecting the opponent because of their current form. But that's my opinion. Anyway, the result does suggest that our squad and depth is not good enough to beat Leeds United. That may well be the case, but I choose to look at it from a different perspective. I told everyone Josh and Guy should have started, and Tosin should never play for Chelsea again. He is worse than useless. He works against us. Okay. Let me see what we have here. We need to appeal the Caicedo red card. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. It was deserved. It deserved red card, and he actually threw himself on the carpet on the day trying to pretend he was hurt too. Opening. So I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom because we don't have too much time. And apologies if I scrolled again. If I can't read everything you have in the chat. Lots of comments there, but I see my bro IB in the house. I have to read his comment. Plus, he's a paid member too. I know he wouldn't mind me skipping his and reading other people's comment, but I just have to. Again, he's supports the channel, and it's only fair that so then I show him that respect. Big up everyone except for Coach, who swore Tosin is a good player. He was never a bad player. He's maybe now he's become a bad player. And I can defend him because what happened yesterday wasn't a one-off event. It has happened severally in recent games. Guys, you know me for years. I don't lie or do anything for PR, and I have been told we will sell some top players to swap with their tier list. That makes sense. That's something that makes sense. No, I'm not questioning that actually. Tosin, it's a plan from Fulham. I mean, that's your business if you want to see it that way. IB, once again, I appreciate you joining the conversation, bro. IB here says that disappointed but not surprised. A young team coming off a week of high combined with lots of rotation, a disaster. The manager was calling for it, given some of the changes he made. Yep, I agree with you. I'm not going to question that one bit. A young squad, it's very common that young squads are not able to, you can say, perform consistently. I've been told he didn't think Leeds would start. I think he did say during his presser that he's not sure how they're going to play, but he's ready to adapt, given what he sees Leeds United do. Yeah, we're all disappointed, really, but I'm not surprised either. I was concerned about that game, and yeah, we were shocked. It was a humiliating defeat. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the live chat. I can't read everything as much as I love to interact with you, but yeah, there are lots of comments there, and I cannot right now. Let's see. It looks like it's frozen. Come on. All right, there you go. We're there. Let's go for the first item here. A few numbers that they are. I did tell you guys about the numbers, and I'd like us to look at them. Where's the first one here? My word, where is this not open? But I'm gonna have to switch to this window. Tobeho, if you're there, how do you think the manager should balance the rotation to have, you could say, two good squads, two good teams? If one, even if you rest the 11 that plays that played the last game, would still have a very strong 11 to come. You say to play and do a good enough job, or maybe an equally good job, or maybe an even better job. But I don't think we have good balance there. If you want to call it the second 11, the second 11 isn't as good as the starting 11. But let's hear you, Tabejo.
For me personally, I said it yesterday. I was not worried about the lineup. Like I said before, I thought the reason why he played Tosin, Badishil, and Chalaba is because of their aerial dominance. Leeds are the tallest team in the Premier League, so they normally use set pieces to hit you. So you had to play those three. So I think yesterday the players let Enzo Maresca down. For me personally, Estevao, we told them on the panel, oh, start Estevao every game, oh, blah blah. What did he do yesterday? He almost got a red card, right? He thinks again. He's a good player, but he's still wrong. Every time when he have the ball, he loses the ball. He can't even dribble in the first half. Joao Pedro left Delap in the first half, and they were horrible. Enzo, first half, horrible. So the goal that we conceded is because of our mistakes. So overall, I don't think the lineup was bad. The issue is our individual mistakes, and then it's happening all the time.
You,
And
you
when
you
Tosin
you
and
don't think the
Chalaba
number of
played,
changes he made is an issue? Was an
I don't
issue?
think so. I don't. For me personally, we need to rotate Coachella as much as we don't like it, because if you don't rotate, we're going to have more injuries. So I was not upset with the lineup. I had to understand that Leeds, they're going to dominate aerially, so we need tall centre backs, especially Tosin is experienced, but yesterday he was like a primary school player. So overall, that's on the players. You can blame Enzo Maresca, it's fine, but I think the lineup was good enough for us to win this game.
He did also come across like the pressure is getting to him.
Exactly. But overall, that's my take.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. And that Usman says that we are far behind Arsenal in terms of good squad. I mean, it'd be correct to say that, even if you want to see it from the perspective of, you can say, the maturity of the players, it does make sense to say, yeah, we're far behind them. But yeah, I get it. We were able to square up to them, but that's not necessarily an indicator that, yeah, we're right there with them. As I've told people, at the start of the season, we're not quite there. So I never believed you can say we're ready to win the league this season. We still have a long way to go, in my opinion. We're over 3 years into the project. Yes, we have won two cups, and yes, we've got a Champions League. I need to see more experience in the team. They might do that, but I cannot guarantee you they do that, because as our players mature, that see this different level of performances, and there are a lot that we've improved. Again, on
Coach,
we've learned
coach,
how to manage games. We've
coach.
also The only thing you could say that we're lacking right now is perform consistently, which only
Coach, these
comes with
people talking
maturity.
about they want more experience in the team. We've got experience in the team, but they still
Yeah,
need rotating. They still need rotating.
yeah. The midfield, okay, of Caicedo is Kante, Jorginho. I'm not sure I understand that fully. I apologize for that. Let's see what else we have here. Jorgensen isn't trusted. Why would you trust him? Why would you trust him? He gave him opportunities on maybe 3, 4 occasions, and he struggled. He looked nervous. God in the sticks for us, and that only happens when he comes in place of what's his name? In place of Robert Sanchez, which simply means he cannot compete with Sanchez. You can say he's come across as nervous on occasions that he's done that. The manager actually gave him a chance in the Champions League for a match game, and he struggled. He looked nervous. But if he was like, let's say in a cup game, he usually again he does better in cup games. Let me just go with the Conference League and the Premier League at the time. He was excellent in the Conference League games where he had no competitions. Probably he knew that that was his. He was, you could say, the dedicated goalkeeper for the Conference League. No competition. He was able to do his thing without competing with anybody, and he did really, really well and was excellent in the final against Betis, which you could argue had it not been brilliance between the sticks, we could have ended the first half of that game 3 goals down. But I've observed that whenever he comes in for Sanchez, he does. He's looked nervous and fumbled the opportunity to prove that he can actually be starting. He should be starting high-profile games for us. Maresca is to blame for instead of a poor game. He kept it kept alone with no right back or any support whatsoever. Maresca's team selection was terrible. I'd listen to that conversation rather than I don't want to debate with anybody saying that the manager shouldn't rotate. But if you're arguing that he selected the wrong players, I want to talk with you if you get my point. We're not arguing. I'm just saying, it makes sense to say, he didn't make the right, and you've explained something now. He was isolated on occasions when he was on the ball. No help, nobody making overlapping runs that he can actually try to pass the ball, or something like that. Yeah. That 18-year-old kid who needs to calm down, which shows you the importance of the manager managing his game time, managing. You can say, I think the more accurate language to use would be managing the pressure on the kid. Because had he not done that, chances are he'd probably, before the return of Cole Palmer, he'd be feeling the entire weight of the squad. But the manager utilized him in a manner that he'd know that it's not about you. We're a team here. And you could argue, had he not done that, probably be struggling a lot more. He struggled, but a little bit. You could still see that he's an excellent player. Let's see, a Grand Kenyan, kind of gap between us and Arsenal. They are consistent. They're consistent. Let's see what we have there. They're consistent, but a result of 3-4 years work, we will come good in 2-3. I think next year we will be there. I have not said this before, but I'm saying it now. Next year we will be there. Not next season, in my opinion. Okay, in my humble opinion, I think it's going to be next season because we're actually that close. Had it not been for injuries, I think would be, actually second place or maybe first place actually this season. Yeah, but I like the Grand Kenyan reference. Nah, I do like that. That's my school, by the way, where I'm doing my doctoral program. But I don't know why he just doesn't start Achampong. He did say the reason was that we've kept clean sheets. In how many clean sheets in a row at the time? And Josh Achampong, what he said, the detail isn't what he didn't say. I think what he was trying to say, Josh Achampong, isn't experienced enough, but will continue to get minutes until he matures enough to be starting. That's his opinion, but I think he should be starting over Tosin right now. Also, I cannot blame Sanchez for us losing our backline last night. Didn't help matters. I will not. Wally Waldo, you know me. I will not. I was never a fan of Sanchez, but yeah, he's proven himself. And will he be perfect? No, because of the way we play, he'd still make mistakes. But the number of you can say number of mistakes he makes have reduced significantly. We have to rely on City now to stop Arsenal. I mean, we still go away at we still play them in their stadium, I think, and by that time, I think we'll have a much healthier squad and could beat them. Jorgensen will leave in January. It makes sense. I'm not gonna debate that. I think it makes sense. It take a lot for him to decide to stay, which I don't see happening. What I mean is, without Caicedo, you cannot see Enzo. Enzo, the way Maresca utilizes him, I don't think he does a lot. You can say he's not charged with the responsibility of protecting the defensive line. Yeah, but I think he operated differently yesterday. Played more like a deep line playmaker. Crystal Palace is struggling with the Europa League Conference Cup and all that. Yeah, they don't have deep enough squad in my opinion. Chelsea under 21 lost. Yeah, I did see the highlights and I angrily didn't want to watch it. I could have watched it if I wanted to. This season we have a good chance for second, not first, because everyone isn't good enough. Mathematically it's still very possible. But do I think we'll win it? No. I think we'll finish top four. I think we'll win at least one trophy or even two. I don't know which ones, but I think we will. Remember Arsenal form would drop. I listen, I think they will. They will. Our manager fumbled it. If you're going to rotate heavy, please put players in their position that they are strong at. I mean, that's another way to see it, but I'm not a fan of players being, you could say, players being specialty players. For like, what's the correct language there? Players only being able to play in the so-called natural position. Modern football, it, you need to be able to play whatever the manager deploys you. I think that was actually the least of our problems, in my opinion. But I get where you're coming from, Drake. Next season we will be there. If we're going to see these mistakes and risks, we better see them now. Yeah, I think Maresca has proven that he's a quick learner. I think probably, but let's see. In terms of squad rotation, I don't think he's learned how to balance it out. So one isn't, you could say, unfairly better than the other. Whenever we see the second 11, because yeah, it's not defined, but you'd look at it and be certain that yeah, this is 11 that starts next, and the 11 that played the last game aren't good enough for obvious reasons. But I think what I've said this before, I think he can actually balance it out, have good enough players to help us win games on the pitch, and then keep those players, some of those players that played the last game on the bench, and introduce them as soon as he senses that the 11 on the pitch, they don't have good enough chemistry. When we start experiencing disjointed displays, like half-baked passes and all that, make changes immediately. Don't wait for things to get worse. But let's see what he does next. He just needs, once again, he needs to balance out the rotation. Don't let it be, you could say, unfairly in favor of one particular starting 11 than the other one. Good luck with your. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know why I talked about that here. But let's see. It's been difficult for multitude of reasons, but I'm getting there. Rich money makers focus on your team. We cannot banter other teams when when we're in the mud. Is that what you're saying there? All right, what do we have? Usman here saying Enzo was too far away from Santos yesterday, but he usually, you can say, with Moises Caicedo, that was never an issue. but on the ball, he's always close by. You can say to make it easier for Caicedo to release the ball. But yeah, I think we lost that game for multitude of reasons, not just for one individual. But of course, it's easy to single out Tosin, and I wouldn't have called him out had it not been the fact that his mistake yesterday, that one in particular to Sanchez, wasn't a one-off thing. Yeah. 9 points isn't that big, to be honest. We're only in December, so a 9 point gap is doable, in my opinion. But I'm concerned. You can say it's become a yearly occurrence that we struggle in December. But here's the thing: I'm going to say something I've said before. I've called Maresca a hoodoo breaker. I think we will win our next game and probably win. I'm not sure how many, but we get maybe one of them could end in the draw, but I don't think the December will be as bad as a lot of people are concerned that it will be. But that's just my opinion anyway. And I have my bro in the house, in the house in Zion. And in all honesty, I have to say this. That result drained the life out of me. That's how much I love the club. Even my eldest son, who's 9.5 now, my wife isn't happy that I've introduced him to Chelsea because every time, especially during weekdays, when I go to pick him up, he's asking, "What's the result? What's the result?" Once I tell him the result, if we're losing, his mood changes, and I get blamed for it. And he start yelling at younger brothers. So, but that's why I know I'll be all right. I didn't expect it. I didn't. You say I didn't expect it to be as bad as it ended up being. I knew it was going to be difficult, but not as bad. Good morning to you, to my bro, Zion. Once again, always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. You can trigger the command yourself, !BCN. Good morning. And I have Usman. What happened to Bonanote? We've talked about this before. He's had opportunities to, you can say, stake a claim for a place in the starting 11. But what happened? He looked good. You can say it was all the flicks, 1-2s. He looked good. It was good to watch. But numbers don't. You can say numbers show he doesn't deserve a place in the team, except if you lack numbers to a measure that we're desperate before he gets a chance to play. So he's not a bad player. He's gotten opportunities, but wasn't productive. Yeah, even though in those games he looked good. But look beyond how good he looked in those games to see what numbers say. You'd see that, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be starting for Chelsea. I'm not a fan of Delap. Gives us nothing. High ball retention up front is sketchy at best. The potential is there, but he needs more training. He does need more training. That's another thing. I think eventually he will come good. I'm not giving up on him. I know a bad player when I see one. Delap isn't a bad player. I think there are a multitude of reasons why he struggled. And like one of them being it's not been long he returned from injury and he was out for a while. And we didn't have a full season overall. Why? Because, yeah, we made it to the final of the Club World Cup, which you could say stretched to the period where the players usually go on break. So they did go on break, but it was a short one. So there are a multitude of reasons why when the season started, I didn't expect us to hit the ground running because I knew the Club World Cup, yeah, would definitely cause us a few problems here and there. The fact that we made it to the final, but that's by the way. Let's see. I have a feeling we're sending a Bonanet back, possibly, but he could still play. We still have cup games. And despite all our criticisms, we can easily see patterns of play, massive improvement from last season, and a tactical flourish in many games this season. Yeah. And Maresca is a human being. No manager is perfect. And go look at our records since the start of the season, it has actually not been a bad season so far. It isn't a bad season. We've made great progress, but yeah, a loss is a loss, and an embarrassing, more especially an embarrassing loss brings out the worst in all of us, Chelsea fans. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom, and I have let's see, Patrick Joyce. Thank you for joining the conversation. Chelsea backline is a problem. Patrick Peter, not Patrick Joyce, is a problem. They don't have a good squad rotation depth like Arsenal, and that's important. And you could argue the manager hasn't really balanced the rotation itself. You could say it's unfairly. You could say unfairly, it's not balanced. One squad, 111 is way too better than the other. The other, it'd be correct to call the other second 11. I don't think it'd be correct to say we're actually rotating. I think it'd be accurate to say we have a starting 11 and a first 11 and second 11. But if we're rotating properly, we'd have two 11s, then it'd be accurate to say we're rotating. And then you'd be confident that whichever 11 we see on the day, we will do an equally good job or maybe an even better job. But in this case, I think it's not balanced. One of the teams is unfairly, I guess, has an unfair advantage over the other. Yeah. But let's see. Jimmy K. Stevie, nice to see you once again. I do hope you're doing well. I can't complain. Terrible performance from everyone involved. Yeah, I agree with you. Even the manager to put his name there. Hi Tom. See, nice to see you. Let's see. That's my only issue, coach. It all depends on the period. Yeah, I agree. What else do we have here? And my bro says we're still there. The boys will walk up and get it right. Maresca is still learning, and he's learning really quick. And I mean, for a learner, he's much better than that, than all the, you can argue, except for Thomas Tuchel, in my opinion. Every other manager that you can say that has had the chance to coach us under our current ownership, he's better than them tactically. Honestly, I think we will be all right. Bournemouth have lost a top midfielders. Yes, who? Okay, last night I was a captain's. You wore the captain's armband and just floating around the pitch without a human body in it. Invisible captain. Okay, you're slating Enzo Fernandez. I'm saying how to embarrass a fan base just in 3 days. Yeah, only Chelsea could beat Barcelona the way we did, and nearly beat Arsenal with 10 men, and then lost to a Leeds United side that hadn't won a single game in 4 tries. Yeah, that's how embarrassing it was. But that's by the way. Let's look at this. I'm going to switch to the presentation window, so we'll look at items we have lined up here. So to better look at this, this says Chelsea have won just 25% of their Premier League games when Moises Caicedo hasn't been in the starting 11. His agent will be licking his lips. Tell you there.
Yeah, I'm here. Moses Caicedo is, I said it, Moses Caicedo, Levi Colwell, Cole Palmer, Marco Corella are our key players at the moment under Enzo Maresca system. We can say Malo
You have
Gusto
to
as
put
well.
Malo
Because,
Gusto there. Malo Gusto
yeah,
is actually one of the Maresca's most important players.
exactly, even Malo Gusto. So clearly, after this red card, we all knew that is going to affect us. Yes, we said and Andre Santos can play that role, but clearly, two players are different. And yesterday showed that without Moses Caicedo, we are struggling. So
Did you
overall,
remember when we had that conversation that the closest player to Caicedo in terms of protecting our defensive line is Sesugo? He might not be
yes,
Caicedo, but he's closer. Andres Santos is no Caicedo. And remember when we also, that was like where we said, yeah, when we have what's his name, Lavia, and was the Brazilian kid you mentioned, and Santos on the pitch, they are excellent at, you can say, facilitating offensive moves but defensively, even two of them combined, they're not close to. Again, they cannot measure Caicedo's ability to protect our defensive line. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Dario Sugo's injury is affecting us because if he was available, he could have played yesterday. So that's the issue I'm having. These red cards are killing us as well because if you watch the games that we played without, I mean that we got red cards, we lost points. So overall, hopefully Moses Caicedo can learn from his mistake. It's one red card at Chelsea, so it's not a bad thing. But again, it's a bad thing right now. We are missing him. Clearly, the stats are showing that without him, it's so hard to win games. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but let's hope Santos will have a better game against Panama. Even yesterday, I don't think Santos is to blame. We know what happened yesterday. Our defense messed up their job yesterday.
Yeah, just I was, guess I got when I heard that the Sugo trained with the rest of the squad, I thought he was back, which was why I joked that Caicedo timed his, um, you could say that Caicedo's red card couldn't have come at a much better time. And then we heard from Maresca that said Sugo suffered a setback. And I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything with regards to his new return date. So yeah, that's a concern. I think Maresca, he will find a solution, definitely. But still, what people aren't paying attention to, if you don't want him to rotate, look how many players we have injured, out injured, even with the rotation. And I keep repeating myself. If the argument is the selection, then yeah, then we have a debate. But if you're saying he shouldn't rotate at all, then I don't want to talk to you really, because you don't understand. You don't understand the need for rotation. Why have that conversation with you? It's not my job to educate you on why he needs to rotate the squad. Ibrahim says technically we do have two starting 11s. Issue is the second squad is missing key guys and Lavia. And here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we know that those guys aren't available. Why not balance it out? Why not let it be? You can say unfairly. One of the teams is unfairly better than the other because of lack of balance. Because yeah, nearly all the better players we have, yeah, is included. Is part of the first team. Yeah. So why not just balance it out a bit? Share the strength, balance it out a bit. Then, if one team is playing, you still have certain important players on the bench and have the luxury to bring them on if need be. You get the point now. Oh, and don't hesitate if you saying, yeah, if we start seeing disjointed displays and all that, have big passes like I've said before, start making changes immediately. Don't leave it be. Honestly, don't let it, you say, continue until it's too late. I was thinking he was going to make changes very early on in that game against Leeds United, but he didn't. Probably was hoping that we end the half with just a goal down. But yeah, he's not perfect. I still love him. I'm still Maresca in 150%. So yeah, and I can't stop saying that. I'm not embarrassed. New withdrawal of. Here's the thing. I'm not embarrassed, but yeah, it was humiliating. I knew it was going to be difficult. I didn't know we were going to lose the way we did. Yeah, and it was again a deserved win for them. Really, I feel Badiashile and Tosin should be sold this summer. You could argue the reason why Badiashile is still at Chelsea because, yeah, as Greentoff would tell you, he gets injured every transfer window, and you can't sell an injured player. Our manager has played Leeds United 3 times in his career and has lost all 3. I've seen that online. That happens. Would you? When did you know that? When the only time, what's his name, Leo Messi got to score against us was against who, under what manager, Tebejo? After years of trying, under who?
Who? Potter.
Under Potter, Leo Messi, right? Was it under Potter?
I'm not sure. I'll just take a check there.
But he scored a brace, right? But
Yes, got a
yeah,
brace.
at his, you can say at his peak, yeah, I think it'd be correct to use that term. He wasn't able to score against Chelsea, even when he had spot kick opportunities. He didn't score. Well, I think one time at the Bernabeu, no, at New Camp, he had one a spot kick opportunity, but still wasn't able to put it away. So these things happen. You don't judge a manager by that. You don't. Yeah, maybe if Daniel Farka, is that how you pronounce his name, is better than him, then Leeds United should be topping the table. You get my point, Tebejo.
Yes, I get your points, bro.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say here is that that doesn't mean that Daniel Farka is better than him. Is that I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Let's see what else we have here. Big up new people, go and check out my bro's YouTube channel, subscribe and let him get to 10,000. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves that. We blocked Josh from leaving the club just to not play him. I think he will eventually start playing a lot more because, yeah, in all honesty, I think Maresca, I'm going to say this again, he's selected him for games that showed he trusts him. Yeah, and I think the kid will get his chance. I think he'll still be here. We didn't block him for him to become, you could say, immediately become a regular starter. The process was always going to be a gradual process, and I think there are reasons now for him to be starting games over Tosin. And if that doesn't happen, people will start questioning the manager's decisions. So now is the time. And I think, yeah, it's about time we start seeing him again start over Tosin. And I'm not concerned about him, really. Coverdale Penny says we will lose 6 games in a row in Premier League until we meet Man City next year, January 5th. We will win at Atlanta and Cardiff. Wow. Okay. There's a way I can save that. Or if somebody can clip that for me, I'd really like that. Last year, this Chelsea team was full of mistakes, and we still have the same players making the same mistakes. Tosin didn't make a lot of mistakes last season. Did he, Tabejo? I don't remember that. I think he's fallen off this
No,
season, but last season he did well. He finished the season well.
yeah, last season Tosin was fantastic. So that's why I'm saying, like, why is he continuing doing these kind of mistakes? He should show experience on the pitch. So that's annoying part. And then it's not that it didn't happen once. Now it seems like every game he got any mistakes in mistake in him. That's the issue.
It doesn't actually look like he's gonna come back from this one because the pressure will always be there, and the fans are on his, yeah, they're on his back right now. So that makes it even more difficult to come back from it. I don't think he recovers from this. I think that's it for him. I think eventually he'll leave in January. I don't see what changes that for him. But let's see. Maresca has proven to be predictably unpredictable. We'll see what happens here. And Chimera, just get out of here, man. I don't blame Tosin. He can only do so much. The setup was all wrong from the start. This is on Maresca and nobody else. Okay, I still blame him for the sort of mistakes he made on the pitch. Given his experience, he shouldn't be making such mistakes. Arsenal was tired versus us. No, that's a horse dunk. They played Bayern and we played Barca too. Yeah. What are you saying? No, I I disagree. But that's by the way, as I said, Moises Caicedo's agent will be licking his lips. So yeah, because you can say this for me, this statistics is a good tool for negotiation. The fact that Chelsea have won only, I think, just doesn't justify that. Only 25% of their Premier League games when Moises Caicedo hasn't been in the starting 11. That's a good negotiation too for his age, for his camp. I am back as this need to improve, and this project needs better players. I think what Asquad needs is time. We're actually not. Can we stop every time we lose a game? We stop condemning every player we have. But once we go on a winning run, everybody will be joyous and be discussing how far we've come. But but I am fed up of. Anyway, you're entitled to your opinion, really. I'm not sure what it's to say. Man, that was the shortest title race ever seen. I like that one. I honestly do like that comment. The shortest title race, indeed. Yeah, that's a hilarious one, and I like it. And I never thought that. I never at any time believed we were, in a title race. Honestly, started. All right. Tosin wouldn't leave in January. None of our CBs are moving in January. You play Tosin in cup games along with Josh. That makes sense. He might well stay beyond January, but in terms of you could say, I think it'd be correct to say he's no longer from now on an integral part of the squad. The manager won't say anything in public that will reflect that be the case from now on. He will not risk it, unsettling the squad by mentioning players' name in public given because they make one mistake or the other. I still trust the manager. What do you expect with a team full of Gen Zs? Fundamental blue. I think that's an excellent way to put it too. I like that one. Why can't Maresca stop rotating every game? At least if he can make only attacking changes, we can understand. But defensive changes, I don't think it's necessary. To an extent, especially for Fana. Fielding Fofana again would have been a huge risk. We don't know whether you can say he's finally recovered and will stay fit in a while. We don't know. And sports science will tell you it's a huge risk to stress it. You can say to burden a player that you could argue that's injury prone. You know how many 90 minutes he's played? Yeah, him that hardly ever stays fit. So I don't want him to risk it. We will be fine, honestly. We lost a game, and we've done well since the start of the season, in my opinion. If it will make you happy, take a step back and look at the results. You can say how many games we've won and how many games we've lost, and those games we've lost, why we lost them. Yeah, Leeds have scored the first corner goal against us. That's ironic, isn't it? And we scored a corner kick goal against Arsenal. That's ironic too. So it's not just us. Football, you can't just script the game. You can blame Tosin if you signed him from a big club. You got to need a centre back from Fulham on a free. You buy average, you get average. Leave Tosin alone. I'm not leaving him alone, given how experienced he is. He should have known better than trying to, you could say, to be slick with the ball out, for lack of a more relatable term there. I'm happy we signed Liam Delap because he has a Premier League experience. He will eventually come good. I'm not concerned, really. We're missing Jackson. No, you can say to an extent we are, but I'm not regretting that he left Chelsea. He wanted to leave. We wanted to keep him. We didn't plan to sell Jackson. We wanted to keep Jackson. We just wanted competition for Jackson. We wanted to ensure, not maybe, I don't think, you might not actually call, you can say, had he stayed, I think, but you can say things must have, you can say, before he left, things already, went down south. His relationship with the manager, you could argue to some players, But that's my opinion. That latter part of that comment is my opinion, strictly. I have to be honest. But had he stayed, chances are he'd be starting over Delap. Even if you think no, Delap was signed to replace him, but had he stayed, at some point Delap got injured and was out for a while. Yeah, and had he stayed, I don't think the club could have the club would move at the time. The club would have recalled what's his name, Mark Gee. So he wanted to leave, and we're Chelsea. We went the entirety of the 24-25 season with him alone as a recognized striker. And when he got injured, him and Guy, and they both got injured in the same game. Look what happened. And he wasn't happy that we signed another striker and was concerned that he's lost his place and maybe will be number 3 in the pecking order. That's a mindset of a player I don't want to see at Chelsea. If he believed he was that good, stay, fight for your place. Prove to the manager you should be starting over those 2 players. So I'm not regretting that he left. He doesn't have the mentality of the sort of player I want to see at Chelsea because he feels like it should be all about him. What happens if he gets injured? And that was what the club was trying to avoid because we learned the hard way the importance of having more than one experienced striker. He's not the most experienced, but at least he's more experienced than Mark Gui. Chelsea fans say that they were going to finish above Arsenal. It's still a possibility as the league isn't over yet. But I don't think we will. That's my opinion anyway. I said in the transfer window, the lap is not enough. We need a seasoned striker at the club. And I'm going to say this again, something that a lot of people aren't paying attention to. When you're calling for the club to sign a striker, you have to be, you can say, be specific. What profile of striker do you have in mind? We play in the way we play. Let me make something clear. The way Maresca likes to approach the game, our number 9s are not going to get tons of goals. That have, you can say, I think it'd be correct to say a balance of goals and assists. Because we almost always play with a fluid approach. Hardly ever, well, again, even in rare cases do we play in a manner where every time we get to the final third, we'll start looking for our number 9. In most cases, actually, you see our number 9 in a deeper position, participating in the play and creating chances for his teammates. So even our number 9s, they will still score good amounts of goals, but it's not going to be tons of goals because we're not that sort of team that whenever we get to the final third, we channel all our goal scoring chances through a single individuals, leading to our number 9s scoring tons of goals. We don't play in that manner. Okay, so let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let me see. Where's my phone? Okay, I see one of my boys pass by, and I don't have the phone to check to know if I hope it doesn't go outside. The lap is overrated. It's over Everton's level. I mean, you have every right to see it like that. He's not quite polished yet. I think he's a talent. Last year, we was playing a B team in Conference League, and in Champions League, we have to go full 11. I think we can balance it out and not have A team and B team and have 2 teams, rest one, play one. Yeah, but now it's not balanced. You can say, I'm not sure how else to phrase that. I'm tired of trying to explain it. And yeah, when I see players, give me a second here. When I see players like Tosin Adarabioyo, Sheila Sanchez, etc., make errors that lead to own goals, I cannot blame them. We can recognize their mistakes, but I look at the coaches to how do you blame coaches for player errors? I'm not sure. I don't. I'm not capable of doing that. Maybe you can elaborate how you blame the manager for player errors when he, yeah, I'm not sure. Chimera, off topic. How is it that we are still the only professional football team without a front of shirt sponsor. I'm not concerned about that. Front of shirt sponsor doesn't mean we start winning games. It's just uh, a means of revenue. That is just that. And if we are that desperate to get one, I think we'd have one right now. If you remember, Allianz, where they offered, I'm not sure, I can't quite remember how much they offered at the time, but we said no. I don't. I think what we're trying to do is not. I don't know if it'd be correct to say we're not trying to undersell our value, the club's value, or something to that effect. So for me, not an issue for me. Not an issue for me. We're just not in a hurry to get one. We want to get one that will pay us and pay us well. And the rumors are that on the verge of, you can say, getting one. And to be more specific, the named entity maybe the being thrown around is was it Oracle, the software company. Yeah. Misbehave, it's your fault as a parent, not them. I think that I'm not sure how to make what to make of this show, and I think it'd be correct to call it an analogy. Maybe these guys are paid professionals; they're not kids. You think it's unprofessional not to have a front of shirt sponsor? I don't think so. I think if we're in a hurry for one or desperate for one, we'd have one right now, but we're not. Yeah, I think Maresca has to learn from. We only lost to easy opponents against Sunderland, Leeds, and every time the player who he rotated always cost us against garbage, which brings us back to my argument. Sorry, I'm not able to accurately get what you're trying to say there. I think he needs to balance it out a bit. Yeah, I think it's unfairly in favor of, you could say, what we could call the first 11. Yeah, it's not balanced. Can you coach yeah, good question. Can you coach mistakes out of a player? No. The only thing you can do, you could argue to a certain measure, yes. If a certain player is on the pitch, and let's say, for instance, let's use the Zazi. If the Zazi is on the pitch, and because you know his biggest flaw is that under the slightest of pressure, he panics and makes silly mistakes. You can try to help him by advising him to release the ball as quick as possible and not to dwell on it for far too long. And whenever he feels under pressure, just boot it forward. Don't try to pass it. So I think it'd be correct to say, to a certain measure, you can coach a mistake out of a player. Yeah, I don't know. Let me clarify. I'm paying attention. Go ahead. So after that, let's see, what else do we have here? Enzo Maresca. It's a game that you struggle to find something that you can take from the game. On the ball, off the ball, duels, second balls, they were much better. Again, in all the aspects, and that's very correct. I couldn't say it any better. So I hope he learned from it, but yeah, it is what it is. We were that poor, and had Tosin, in the case of Tosin, had it not been the fact that that wasn't the first time, you could say, he made a silly mistake, such mistake that a 27-year-old defender shouldn't be making, and he's experienced enough not to know that. You can say it's important to always be aware of his surroundings. It was a huge risk trying not to, you can say, not to put the ball forward. Rather, he tried to be slick with it. I'm not sure how else to phrase that accurately, but you get it. Tobeho, what do you have to say with what Maresca said here? And I'll be back to us in a few seconds.
Okay, no problem.
Mhm.
To be honest, I think Enzo Maresca is right. As much as we are not happy about this situation, I think it's also a human being. But it's a game that you struggle to find something that you can take from a game on the ball, off the ball, Juru second the balls. They were much better than us in all the aspects. And I agree with him. Leeds, Leeds were the better side last night. As much as I don't like to lose. Leeds were better than us yesterday. And it's the first time seeing Chelsea outplayed for a while under Enzo Maresca this season. So I'll cut him some slack for this game. But again, the next game, we need to see results. We need to see better performance against Bournemouth on Saturday. And hopefully we win that game. But again, it won't be easy. It's the Premier League. And Bournemouth is one of the boogie teams, just like Leeds United. We always know against Leeds we're going to struggle because always at home seems like they have something against us. So hopefully, hopefully when we play in the Stamford Bridge, we smash Leeds so that we can get our sweet revenge.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Did anyone tell the players and the manager that Leeds is a big rival? Yeah, I probably they didn't know. It didn't look like they were educated on the rivalry. I don't think, and it will be a hard game away from home. Maybe they didn't know. Big up to you two. I'm disappointed that Chelsea lost. The defenders were playing like schoolboy kids. A bad day at the office. We moved on to Bournemouth. Hopefully, again, December is usually a bad period for Chelsea, but I think Maresca can break that hoodoo. Maybe you could argue that that loss a lesson just in time. Yeah. Maybe a wake up call if you prefer. Hell of a wake up call. I agree. That's another way. Even though I don't like you, but I'm agreeing with you, Vic. I think that was a wake up call, a serious one for him to learn. And I read something on X, somebody suggesting that even he, Maresca, didn't take that game seriously. Maybe you could argue because we beat Barcelona, nearly beat Arsenal with 10 men. Maybe he thought, yeah, that's easy peasy for him. Or maybe, I don't know, the players. Because, yeah, for me, I've talked about how I define Charity FC if I'm asked to define it. It's just a matter of players not respecting the opponent. Because, yeah, before that game, Leeds had they had lost 4 games in a row. They hadn't won a single game in five attempts or 4 attempts before that game. So because our players they do see the table, they know Leeds they've been in poor form, even though a sign was how well they did against Man City. I'm quite sure those players watched it. Probably they thought, yeah, we've won this one already. But something else to pay attention to. The truth remains that the absence of Moises Caicedo that revealed a lot. And that, as I said, his agent will be licking his lips. And given that statistics are now 25, we've only managed to win 25% of the games we played without him. Premier League games, to be more specific. That shows he's actually the club's most important player, one of the club's most important players, and that's an excellent negotiation too for his camp. He looks so sad that why would do you want him to be celebrating it? All right, now Tevejo Mabasi saying big up to you. Kachila Maresca is still learning his trade, but he needs to stop with it. This over rotating, it's killing us. Yeah, balance it out a bit. You could say I'm not sure how is it to explain this. I've talked about it 1,000 times since the start of this particular show. Balance it in a way that Team A and Team B will be nearly, you can say, equal in terms of strength. But now one is, you can say, stronger than the first team is stronger than the second team, and that's not okay. And he did say something that suggests, yeah, he knows that the first team, the second team isn't as strong as the first team, which isn't okay. He should be, he should balance it out. You could argue in equal measure, actually. But the only difference, the only thing he'd do during games would be to have certain players on the bench that if a particular team isn't doing well, he'd just get players off the bench, bring them on to balance, to fix the issue. But I don't. It's annoying, really, but I still support him 150% in my opinion. And then Vic, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding time to join the conversation. Man, I'm tired actually. I I nearly didn't didn't start the show because the loss. I was pained because of the loss, and it drained. Still pained, really. It drained the life out of me. Maresca looks like Pep Ten Hag. That's a good one. I like that, Nick Fadley. But he's a better tactician than Ten Hag, really. But let's see. Tosin is so bad that even wow, your 14-year-old cousin plays better than him. He wasn't that. He was excellent last season. Actually, I'm not sure what happened to him, and I'm not going to defend him anymore. I think it has happened too many times that it wouldn't make sense to try to defend him. It would take a lot to convince me again to start saying, okay, see, you see, he's a good player. But Ibra says we constantly play down the competition, aka Charity FC. And Chelsea fans are also guilty of that. I was seeing a lot of people were saying how you could say how we're gonna beat them 3 goals to nothing, 3-1. I think Mabas said 3-1. And I told them that it will be a difficult game. I didn't want Tosin to start that game for reasons I explained. And to be honest, they didn't actually play at the level that they usually play. I think they did slow it down a bit. You can argue on papers because they expected us to keep the ball and they didn't want to run too much and then be exhausted and which will in turn give us an opportunity to come at them. They didn't play at the level that I've seen them play. They play at the same sort of high octane football that they played under Marcelo Bielsa. They didn't play that way. They did slow it down a bit. Yeah, okay. Let's see what else we have here. Big up to you, Makim Neum. Thank you for joining the conversation. Doesn't end the problem. I can't lie. You can know. I'm not saying. Yes, then he can make such a mistake, and you still say he isn't the problem. He is. Except if let's hear you justify that he wasn't the reason. You can say maybe I'm not sure what point you're trying to make here, really. Maresca knows his squad. He has identified the good, reliable one from the rest. When he makes the decision to gamble with the no good rest and loses, blame it on him. That's a sensible argument. That's a sensible argument. But my argument is that we can do better with the rotation. Rotation is important, especially now that the games will be coming thick and fast. The question is, just do it the right way. Balance it out. Don't make one 11 better than the other, or maybe a lot better than the other, which will make it clear to the fans that whenever we see the other 11 on the pitch, the quality reduces significantly. It's simple, really. And if just start Josh Archibong over Tosin, that's my opinion anyway. I'm not sure what else to say here. But I lost my energy, didn't sleep, rewatching the game, trying to figure out what really happened. I don't have the sort of energy I usually have during shows. Honestly, I'm barely functioning properly. Enzo Maresca in tonight's game, there was nobody at their best level. Pedro's second half, Garnacho's second half, they were our best players. Maresca, when you play against Barcelona and Arsenal, you expect better performances tonight, but it's not always going to be possible. We have some players that it's not possible to play every 2 or 3 regimes, West and all that. I agree. Rotation is important, but can we be sensible with the selection, with the rotation process, and not, you can say, do it in a manner that 111 will suffer while the other thrives. I'm not sure how else, because every time I see such comments, the what comes to mind is that, yeah, maybe we're not doing it the right way. Enzo Maresca, we performed so well against Arsenal and Barcelona. It doesn't mean we're going to always perform in the same way, because of the situation you have to manage, the players you have to rotate. Then balance the rotation, balance it out. Don't make it, you say, fairly even. You can say it's not even. One
But coach,
squad is 111 is much better than the other. Go ahead, Tobeho.
but you can argue that Tosin against Bentley, he was one of our best defenders, and now he played against Leeds. He looks like a kid from primary school. So sometimes players need to take responsibility as well, because Tosin against Bentley was fantastic, but now against Leeds, oh my gosh, he looked lost.
But do you get my point and why I said he should balance it out? Don't, you can say, don't make one so much better than the other, then whenever the second 11 is playing will be crap, because that's clearly what he's doing. He's prioritizing the Champions League over the Premier League, which is not a problem, but at least balance out the squads a bit. And even if, let's say, if you balance it out, let's say in the other, in each game, you'd have some of your, you can say, preferred players on the bench and bring them on if need be. I'm not sure, but yeah, he does this thing, and I don't want to start, you could say, ask. I just like him, honestly. But I really do like Maresca, and I'm still 150% Maresca in. But please balance out the squad rotation process. The two squads, I mean, balance the two squads out. Don't make one far better than the other. Than the second will be filled. You could say comprised or maybe made up. The makeup of the second 11 will be a lot of, you could say, the not fully integrated players, or maybe the least experienced players. It just doesn't make sense. And the patterns show that that's the case. I don't think that's okay. He should balance it out, really. Enzo Fernandez was much worse player than Tosin. You never liked him. But chances are he was, but I think that was the least of my concerns, really. Badi wasn't the bad other than the fact that he kept passing the ball backwards constantly. He wasn't that bad. Tosin should have been stopped off early on. And Badi actually, the way he passes the ball, a lot of risk in Nigeria, what we call hospital passes, not properly measured, weighted maybe. Then the opposition players, if they press very well, they can actually cut it off and they can actually intercept the ball. I'm not sure what has happened to him too. All right, that's it. To anything else you want us to talk about, I think it's about time we call it a day. And my bro is back and he said he's part of the problem, and we can all testify to that. Similar mistakes, mistake after mistake. Yeah, it's yesterday's wasn't a one-off. It's become a pattern, which is an issue. He says, let's see what happens on the day. Probably, I'm not sure. Is playing 3 center backs and 1 inverted fullback rationale? I'd say nope. Maybe he thought that was gonna. Maybe you could say he overtinkered, maybe, for lack of a more relatable language. There, someone said that was the C team. Don't make me laugh. Yeah, might have been. Just have the two squads that you rotate, balance it out. Balance it out in a manner that whichever 11 that starts would be confident that they get a good result. Yeah, Bournemouth should have. Bonanote should have played instead of Enzo Fernandez. That'd be worse, actually. In all honesty, we technically playing with 10 men. That'd be worse. Okay. Stephen Charles blame. Okay, I'm not into name calling, so I'm not gonna read that. I told everyone Josh should have started. We wanted Josh to start that game, so to speak. Dang it, I'm losing it. I'm exhausted, really. I'm not functioning properly right now. I told everyone Josh should have started at right back, and Guy should have started as striker. He would have bullied their defense, and at least you could say pressed effectively, pressed better than the two than Delap. Yeah, but maybe the plan is to start Guy in the next game, but we'll find out. Yeah, Enzo is not a DM. Yep, he's more efficient up front, even though he's a deep line playmaker. But yeah, he's more of a hybrid of 6 and 8, which you definitely not a DM. That's it. Today, anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day? I have to run. I'm tired. I think my boys are gonna go to
No,
school late today.
no, all good, bro.
All right, thank you so much. All right, people, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation. Mabasa 05, Makim Neum, I appreciate you all. And Cole Palmer, aka Namaya Fawale, Fundamentally Blue, thank you. I like that name. Then my bro, BCM Sports USA, Blue Clouds Media Sports USA. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And I said it's just exclamation mark and BCM. Then he will remind people to go check out the YouTube channel. BCM. And then I have my bro IB here. IB was here. Where's IB? Chimera also that I don't like was also here. Vic that I don't like was also here. And Bobby was on the panel with us. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. And also tired right now, exhausted because I'm pained. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar. We rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stanford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust. Our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines. Bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and then with a love this storm, every phone says to there, and there was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like a soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust. Our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines. Bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world of all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's just to there, and there was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world of all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone says to there, and there was a strife. You, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up